All right. Well, after a couple of podcasts in a row of getting 4, 5, 7 podcast hosts, this week only RJ showed up, and I'm very grateful for him for showing up. But maybe this is that sign that everyone's getting a little bit tired of the off season and ready for real football to start. So, um, last time I think we are doing a podcast before actually seeing football for this season, albeit preseason, but still, it's football on Thursday. RJ, you pumped?
Yeah, very excited. Just glad to be back to watching football.
Yeah, I mean, Browns and Jets, I think it is for Hall of Fame game. They're third and fourth string players. Aaron Rodgers on the sideline. It's going to be compelling stuff, man. Anyways, we'll jump right into it. What we want to do, like we did last week, is talk through some of the things happening in camp, what we think about it, and then switch over to the league a little bit. Some spicy things going on in the NFC West that I think we want to spend a little time on, and then, as usual, we'll touch on some of the trades that happened since last week. So, RJ, what has been your favorite spicy little thing coming out of camp in the last week?
Uh, I mean, I can't say I've enjoyed it, but it's interesting to see the changes in the depth chart as injuries happen.
Right.
And I I mean the running backs, that's the biggest thing. We have running backs going down on a daily basis.
And again, we've got a bunch of higher end ones. Pretty upset that they missed the boat and they're the last ones holding the ticket, and nobody's paying anymore.
Nope. It's a revolving door. That position is just cheapest players that they can get and just keep using them until they break.
When again, I keep wondering kind of what this is going to start doing to like the high school and college ranks. So like again, people are starting to see this. People have been hearing running back doesn't matter, stuff like that. But you go to the high school level, and in some cases the college level, and that's the best player on the team. So it's kind of like, okay, if you're a running back and you're, a top recruit, do you say, screw it, I'm not playing running back, even though that's what I played in high school. If you recruit me, I got to play receiver, or I got to be a, dual threat player, or someone you put in motion or stuff like that. Is that kind of what you have to sell yourself as, or does everyone say, screw it, I'll just take what I can get when I get to the league, and even if I only get like 5 million, it's still better than what I get for not being in the league.
Well, I mean, I definitely feel like that transition was already starting to happen, just with like slot receivers playing more prominent roles on teams. But yeah, that's going to happen. That's why we see so many superstars at wide receiver already. Some of them have already been conscious enough to just play wide receiver. But I do think I think at a certain point, if a coach identifies somebody as being their best athlete, they're gonna give them carries regardless. So there's no, I don't really know of a way to avoid just giving all the carries to people that are on rookie contracts, regardless of position that they play.
Yep, it's just going to be funny though because it'll continue to be a sort of dichotomy between the draft and our fantasy drafts, where it's the terrible teams. Oh my god, if you're spending first round capital on a running back, what the hell are you thinking? And then turning around and saying, oh, that guy's the top pick in fantasy leagues. It's like, what is actually happening here? And again, that's happening today, but the fact that those players now are drafted and don't really have a hope of a second contract definitely changes the game a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly aren't ever going to see anybody rush for 10,000 yards as a running back. I wouldn't be surprised if we just see carries more just spread out, where there's more people getting 4 and 5 and 6 carries a game.
Yeah. Well, it's a good thing to be playing best ball in that environment. yeah, being able to have a couple running backs and just being able to have them go as they go for their 6 carries, they get a touchdown this game, or go for 2 yards the next game. Just brave new world.
Yep, every 5'11" wide receiver that's over 200 pounds gets a handful of carries a game.
Yep.
It'll be fun.
Just bring on the A11, man. We're all heading that direction because next thing you know, the running back, everyone's going to need to be able to throw the ball. That's going to be the next craze. And then, you're going to have more guys like Darnell Wright who accidentally do. This can't be true. This thing out of Chicago where it's Darnell Wright apparently did the receivers conditioning this offseason.
Oh, I love that. The defensive tackle.
No, he's an offensive lineman.
Oh, okay.
He's a
Okay,
rookie offensive lineman.
but he's in like he's 300 pounds and was doing the wide receiver workout. But apparently he crushed his workouts like for his position. So
Right. But
it
again,
doesn't sound unreasonable.
But again, it sounds like such a manufactured story. Like, okay, you're 340 pounds and you're doing off-season conditioning for players who are sometimes half your weight, and from a mass perspective, not a mass perspective, a surface area perspective, half your size. It's like, yeah, you don't make that mistake. Or someone's like, let's double check this because you shouldn't be running this many wind sprints when you're 340 pounds.
Yeah. Like, yeah, you'd think after like the third mile of running, you'd stop and go, I shouldn't be doing all this.
I've never done this before. That was fun. But again, it's also fun to hear the new dynamic duo. The stack that everyone needs to be clamoring for is in Chicago. That DJ Moore and Justin Fields are looking like they've been together for 3 or 4 years.
I did see a really nice clip, one clip of a play with them. I mean, I hope I would hope to see that team has some success.
Yeah. Again, and Justin Fields has never had any trouble throwing against air. Again, I'm saying this as an Ohio State fan who thinks his comeback when he was clearly, had broken ribs in the national semifinal is one of the best performances in national championship history. That said, yeah, pressure has always been his weak spot. So we'll see how he does.
I've seen a lot of people have him rated really high this year in redraft, in various different styles that they have him ahead of some higher end players. So yeah, I'd like to see him do well, or at least continue to do well.
Oh no, seriously, I would like to see Ohio State quarterbacks start, performing because if Fields misses and then Stroud's got his red flags from the draft, if he misses, it's like okay, we're bringing 5-star quarterbacks into Ohio State and they're not translating to the NFL. We're never going to get anyone better than like a 3-star athlete.
So I know we're only a few days into like some training camps, but one thing that did stand out to me is how many of the hyped younger quarterbacks are just playing with the twos consistently and not really taking snaps with the ones. Apparently, Anthony Richardson is playing with the twos the whole time. I heard Bryce Young got announced as the starter.
I haven't seen who he's been running with, but the names that they've been saying he's been connecting with sound like first team names. So
Okay.
I think he is. Granted, in Houston, nobody knows who the ones are right now.
Yeah.
So anyone could be a one in that situation at the moment. So that one, not sure. But yeah, your point, like the throw that broke Twitter a couple days ago to Alec Pierce, like he's up there on the depth chart. He's maybe like 2 or 3, but he might not be running them with the ones right now.
Yeah, I mean, they may take a couple of snaps. They may, take 15 or so, but they are like a lot of them aren't the unquestioned one like you would have assumed. Sam Howell is in that same situation. Like I know Jacoby Brissett. That's the other one there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I know he's getting snaps. Like It's just interesting. All the preseason hype that all of these quarterbacks had, and very few of them have at least followed through initially.
I mean, it's funny. It's kind of like scouting. The YouTube versus like game film of visual scouting for the draft. Where hey, if you look at YouTube, everyone looks good, and that's kind of Twitter right now. Is if you look at the Twitter highlights, oh my God, Anthony Richardson is ready to challenge Cam Newton, and Bijan Robinson is already better than LaDainian Tomlinson. But if you look at the actual reports and the details of kind of how those things happened and how the rest of the day went, it's like, all right, that's good. It's not as good as they're making it look, but it's pretty damn good.
I think we're at the point where a lot of us are conscious about the like the practice that they have to the open media, like the first hour or so, like that is all scripted. That's made to make people look good, but like some of us still just eat it up.
Yep. Hey, I mean, like everything else right now is the camp news is either, Victor Cruz or it's, Jacoby Myers or it's going the other direction entirely. And you never hear the guy again. So that's the fun of this time of year. It's the closest to gambling some of us get without actually downloading the app or getting to the tables. Let's see. We kind of alluded to the Jonathan Taylor situation, and again, the title of the show this time is Jim Irsay's Coke Party. Which again, I'm also a little disappointed in the league that I named the episode Jim Irsay's Coke Party, and we're the only ones who showed up.
Yeah, nobody else is partying. That is disappointing.
Yeah, I mean that's almost disappointing as letting trades expire, but that's a conversation for another day. Yeah, I mean the whole situation with Taylor and Irsay, like I'm trying to think of other sports. Have we ever seen something like this before?
Well, I think very few owners have a bus just in the parking lot where their players can have a quick meeting with the owner. But no, I don't. I mean, there have been times where we've seen players like have meetings and request trades, but that's NBA. That's not a NFL type thing. It I don't know. It's interesting. It's really interesting that it would come in a time where uh like the conversation is the value of the running back position.
Mm-hmm. And again, like Irsay always seems to be that guy who's old school, and then like he has people who are kind of thought leaders in analytics and how they're drafting by analytics and things like that. And then he comes in and he's like, "Oh no, gonna throw a little old school back in here," and basically take the black running back into my bus. Tell him not only we not going to trade him, but we're not going to pay him either. So go out there and work for me for this wage I've decided to give you, and the back and forth on this. So, like everything else, this is just going to be ugly.
Yep. And to think that that team was, I don't know, it wasn't even 3 years ago, and the team has stayed the same for the most part, but that team was considered like a quarterback away from being a legit Super Bowl contender.
And you
And now,
just added the quarterback.
right, and now everything else is in disarray.
But all right. Yeah, it's so we'll see.
Sounds like everything falls apart. They tank and they take a wide receiver named Harrison and
Oh God.
build their franchise back up that way.
That's a very NBA storyline of a team that had so much promise falls down, then all of a sudden gets the descendant of their previous, well, I won't say savior, but previous Hall of Fame player.
Yep.
It's good shit.
Gotta love second generation superstars.
Absolutely. All right. So, anything else you want to talk about camp wise or rumors wise or news wise?
The Broncos went from having an overabundance of wide receivers to needing to address that position really quick.
I would say so.
Tim Patrick tore his Achilles, and they cut KJ Hamler today.
Yep.
He was, if I'm not mistaken, he was injured, so it was cut with an injury designation. So once he's healed, he'll probably come back. But yeah, they're back to having like Kendall Hinton be their wide receiver 3. A quarterback.
Well, again, we'll get a couple plays out of them week 1 of preseason and start thinking to ourselves, is this the diamond in the rough that's gonna step in and made KJ Hamler and didn't have to go get another receiver because this guy's so good.
Marvin Mims would be the only one that's going to do that on the roster.
Could be. Anyways, all right, let's jump into trades that have happened since last we spoke. Let's see. Pulling it up.
Not a lot of them, but there's been some fun ones.
Yeah. I think I'm counting, 5?
Yep.
All right. Perfect timing for Bill to join us.
I can't forgive you, Mike.
You can't forgive me for what?
You know what you did.
We'll talk about that later. Anyways, we're talking trades here that have gone down. You guys have the first one here. Velus Jones, Marquise Copeland, and Corey Littleton, and a third for Gage and Hudson. Let's chat, boys. Let's hear about this one.
I don't know. I saw Russell Gage, and for some odd reason, I wanted that contract. So I thought a younger wide receiver and a third-round pick and a couple of depth pieces would probably get it done, and we were able to work it out.
Yeah, RJ's collecting youth at wide receiver, and that's not a bad one to add. And I don't know. I'm taking a dart throw on Velus, hoping that he finally pans out. And then I have just extra depth pieces along the board.
Littleton is quietly a starting linebacker. Copeland's might be a starting defensive end.
He's listed as it, at least for now.
Yeah, so
But that'll all be rotational. That defense is atrocious.
they can't afford to make it any better.
I know.
That team's so fun just because they're so broke right now. So you like look at that roster and you're like, who are these people? But
It's
they
pretty interesting. But yeah,
they have to play them.
Nothing fun with this one. Just moving pieces.
I got a few Russell Gage offers right after that happened.
Interestingly, I got none.
I'm not trading him.
Oh man, Mike, are you still there?
Nope.
Nope, he left.
He's muted.
Fair enough. So what's the next one here?
There's Naheem Hines for a 4th-round pick after we know Naheem Hines is out for the season.
Yeah, congratulations on figuring out a way to get a 4th instead of a 5th, I guess. But man, that's
Colts
way too
gets to
much.
stash him, so there's nothing wrong with that. Not like Hines is a productive player in this league.
He's gonna be $10 million next year.
Yeah,
So much, and he's gonna be 27.
but how many running backs put up 141 points last season?
Oh, I don't know. I'll look at that. But yeah, this was atrocious in my opinion. I can't believe he got a 4th instead of a 5th. Like that's the crazy part to me.
Oh, I don't hate it. I mean, there was at some point I considered buying Hines just to stash him on IR.
142, you said?
Did he score 142? Why does it say 115 now that I'm looking at
Oh,
it?
yeah, I'm sorry. 115. Yeah, so he was running back 40
Yeah.
right in front of Michael Carter.
Yeah, top 40 running back.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know. I don't know if Colts is necessarily going for it, but it's a great piece to just like if you can afford to stash him on your roster, it's fine.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that's definitely the way it would go. Like, I can't lie either. I definitely considered the idea of Hines earlier on, but it was just one of those things of like having that many years attached to him was not appealing, and I didn't want to have to deal with the headache down the road. But yeah, Colts is probably a pretty perfect owner for him right now.
So I think that was good value for Colts.
Yeah, fair enough. Speaking of Colts, here's another one. So I did this one with Colts. Tier Tart, Draymond Jones, and Jelani Tavai for Jordan Davis, Michael Harris, and Jawan Bentley.
Sorry about that, guys. Work call happens. I am traveling for work and I work stupid hours. So these things happen sometimes. So did you guys keep going with the trades, or you guys hang up on the one
Nope.
you guys made?
We
No.
talked about the Naheem Hines, and you're just back for the
I just ran through the list of the Broncos Colts trade.
Gotcha.
the thievery of Jordan Davis, as some referred to it as in the chat.
So, feel free to discuss that one.
So you traded Jelani Tavai for Jawan Bentley. I like Jawan Bentley. Charles Harris for Draymond Jones. I don't know who has the better contract out of the two. I think I want the Charles Harris one, even though.
Well, so Charles Harris is going to be 30, and Draymond's not even 26.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Draymond
I mean,
made a fuckload from Seattle.
Holy shit, he's been really productive.
Yeah, he's very, very good. For a 3-4 defensive end, he's very good.
Yeah. All right. I didn't show him proper respect, but
It's okay.
So Draymond's probably the better side of that.
Yeah.
And then Jordan Davis for Tier Tart. I like Jordan Davis a lot more in that.
Yeah, this was a deal to figure out cap space around Jawan Bentley being so much more expensive. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this one. I wasn't even sure that I wanted to like really dig into it at first, and I asked him if he would be interested in the idea, and it kind of just came down to like I didn't feel comfortable with it just being Dre and Tavai for Harris and Bentley, so I was like, can we add something random that helps cap? And it was Tart for Davis, and he was cool with it.
Nice. Yeah, it's interesting. I agree. I think this year he's probably giving up the best piece in the deal in Draymond. But you're getting back three really good pieces, or three pieces that should score points for you. And Davis, again, long-term upside is there. So, yeah, I think it's a nice win-win, although I don't know why Colts continues to consolidate, but, especially when you control your picks.
The only disappointment on this deal is I did not trade extend Bentley, and I should have.
Oh, what are you doing?
I was working on something else that didn't work out within the 24 hours, and I missed it.
Well, I guess you've got to trade him again.
So he's going to be a tag or a trade asset down the road. Yep.
All right. And to the point, the illnesses that that Bill cannot forgive, back-to-back Chiefs trades with his former division. First off, trading with the Lions, getting Tutu Atwell and Tampa's fourth for Elijah Higgins, the Rams third in 24, and the Steelers third in 24. So 2/3 in Elijah Higgins for Tutu Atwell and a fourth.
Am I missing something, or is Tutu Atwell worth more than that?
I thought he was worth less than that.
Yeah, that's the thing. Nobody knows what the hell he's worth right now, because somebody has to be the number 2 receiver in a McVay offense. Is it Skoranek? Is it Atwell? Who the hell is it? Nobody knows. So until that point, it's, these guys are worth rolling the dice on again for, a third and a half for him.
Is Van Jefferson still alive?
Yeah,
I think so.
I thought the top 3 were Van, Cup, and Skoranek.
Yeah, but Skoranek's a fullback. As much as we want to be like, oh yeah, he's a wide receiver, like
Right.
Duke blocks a lot. Yeah, I mean it's Van, but like Van, you can't really depend on. His knee can explode at any time. He's like the Sony Michel of wide receivers.
Clearly.
Yeah, Chiefs got so lucky with him retiring.
No, I actually thought that was a decent free agent pickup because he was at like 900,000 or something like that. Yeah, I thought he was a solid investment, like heading into training camp.
All right, Mike. Go
and
ahead.
Then now the trade that Bill is very upset with me about. Trading away Aaron Donald for Antoine Green, Nathan Shepard, and Cowboys second next year. What can I say?
Away for nothing. You gave him away for nothing.
Nothing.
He got a second.
Fuck you both. That's a late 2, and you both know it.
It is, but I think that's a solid trade because he's also.
Hold on a second. Is it a late 2?
It's a
Cowboys.
mid 2.
I mean, Cowboys is definitely making the playoffs in the NFC.
He also saddles Goose with only 240,000 in cap.
So, not for nothing, that's incredible because he has Chuck Clark pending on offseason free agents acquisition.
Yeah,
and he can't do it.
So we were actually talking about that before the pod, and I think he made that trade just so he doesn't have to pay Chuck Clark.
$250,000 to put him on IR for 2 years. Big deal. I hate it. No, it just sucks because now I have a competitive similarity at defensive tackle. I don't own that position in my division anymore. It's really unfortunate. It's not going to mean shit at the end. I'm still going to kick his ass all season, but it won't matter. It's just disappointing. Stop giving him points.
Fair. I mean,
call it a late second, but come on. Cowboys is good, but he's not catching Giants, so he's going to be a wild card. So at best, he's 5th, and he's playing He's playing the winner of the NFC West. Not best case, he's playing against one of the. Again, I'd say the winner of the North, the winner of the East, again, which would be Giants probably gets the bye or potentially could be in that mix, or the winner of the South, which is again not a bad team either. So. I would not be shocked if that ends up being the 20th pick of the second round.
Yeah. Okay. So it's late. It's mid to late.
Still, for a 7, I appreciate everything that Aaron Donald is, but nobody's giving me a second for him right now.
Okay, Mike. This is what you made me give up for Quinnen Williams. All right. You gave me Deontay Johnson, Pat Freiermuth, and Quinnen for Stephon Diggs, Dalton Schultz, and DJ Reader. Where the fuck is the evenness here? Where's the equality?
I mean, that seems fine.
Yeah.
I paid more than a late 2.
I disagree. But
yeah, but I would rather have Quinn than Aaron Donald.
Stop agreeing.
I can tell you want to be upset, and it's okay to want to be upset.
See, like, Quinn's getting paid enough and on a team to where, like, he's going to want to play. Like, when the Rams pass the trade deadline and they haven't won a single game, and Aaron Donald's like, fuck this, my heel hurts, and he doesn't play another down, you're going to be like, man, Glad I paid more than a late 2 for Quinton Williams.
Oh man.
Yeah. And you're missing the point. I just saved your life by getting Antoine Green out of your division.
This is true.
Right. Right. That's the real win here.
Absolutely. I mean, you're missing the point entirely, though.
So one thing that got mentioned that made me think, which teams would be the worst off with like one catastrophic injury? Because I'm looking at Giants, and if like Josh Allen goes down, do they?
Oh, like not real life. You're talking like in our league.
Yeah.
That's such a good question. And
the problem is Brandon has such depth, and frankly, if Allen went down, he would get 7 offers. Again, that would be one of them, offering like Kirk Cousins for Josh Allen.
I mean, Jags loses Mahomes, and his team is dead.
Yep.
The Bills is just losing receiver after receiver, so he's already dead. I guess the Dolphins with Hurts.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Especially, Barkley's back.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't know, because I feel like he's kind of similar to my team, where like if like your worst offensive piece goes down, mine in this case would be Ritter. I feel like I could still contend pretty safely for a while, but I don't know. I might just be wishful thinking there. But I don't know. That's such a good question. What team is fucked?
Clearly the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, God forbid they have to rely on Will Levis in Tennessee.
That's true. Or Bijan.
Yeah. Yeah. God, that's a good one. That's a great like research topic for next week.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can think about that for next week. So next week, hopefully, we'll have the schedule out. We'll be thinking about, what catastrophic injuries could screw certain teams. In other words, they probably need to make a couple more trades to diversify their points. But, we'll see what happens. But again, short episode. We'll get to the fun part. Thanks for listening, and let's go.